Hello, hello, and welcome back to all my unprofeshies. We are about to dive into season 3 of the Unprofessional Entrepreneur podcast. I cannot wait to get into this season with you to share all the thoughts strumming through my brain. I already have so many episodes outlined for all of you in the style that I know you love best, case studies. I have missed this. Like, if I'm being fully honest, I have missed recording my podcast, talking to all of you, and just getting to shoot the shit with myself as I record these episodes. Oops. But yeah, I just wanted to start off the latest episode in season 3 with a little hello and welcome back. This is episode 71. I'm so mind blown. Like, we're going to hit 100 episodes by the end of this season. Um, and I love it. I love it all. But yeah, the biggest change to this show before we get into the episode would be that I am no longer using outros. I can't guarantee or not if I will use ads. As of right now, there won't be ads. I'll just be mentioning my offers organically. But yeah, other than that, like, it's going to be the same old unprofessional bullshit as last season. And I can't wait to hear all of your thoughts. All right, so this episode, we are going over 2023 in numbers. I am someone that tracks a lot of data. Not that I am like a genius when it comes to reading data, but I like to track my numbers to see trends, to see themes, to see like where things are going up and down. And I thought it would make for a good episode to share with all of you what I had January 2nd, 2023 versus what I had January 2nd, 2024 this year. I'm going to share my Instagram, email, podcast, clients, and percentage of profits. I'm not going to give you like my exact sales numbers, but I'm going to give you an increase and decrease that I saw and like why I think that happened for you to take away your own notes from all of this. So we're going to start with Instagram because it's the platform that I think all of us are using. I started January 2023 with 2,922 followers on my main account. I didn't do the numbers for my agency account because honestly, I think I grew like 100 followers last year because I just don't prioritize it. And I started January 2024 with 3,012. I think at the time of this recording, beginning of February, I'm like 3,056 or something. But I essentially grew 90 followers in a year, which is shockingly sad if you think of the way that platforms algorithms should amass as someone who posted multiple times a month on this platform, was on stories, was selling, blah blah blah. Like, I grew 100 followers. Not even. But the reason for this is I spent a lot of 2023 unsure of which direction I wanted to go. I pulled back a lot at certain points just because I mentally wasn't capable of focusing on my business. So I can see how and why my numbers are so stagnant this last year. I also did not put any intention or emphasis on reels last year, which is something that I would like to change this year. I would like to be more intentional with reels. If you follow me on social media or on Instagram or Threads, you might have seen me mention this, but I plan to turn my agency Instagram account into a 9 grid, which is where you have the photos. Something's on my arm. Which is where you have 9 photos laid out that basically work like a website. Each post specifically diving into one topic, so people can literally get to know your entire business within those 9 posts. That is the intention for the agency, to turn that into a 9 grid and then to focus only on posting reels. My goal is to do that by end of February. We'll see, because I'm already like pretty behind on a lot of things that I had as goals for February, aka this podcast episode being recorded the day it's going out. Um, but yeah, I would like to try on Instagram this year, if that makes sense. I would like to put effort into it and see what happens. And I already seen that from revamping some of my content in January that I grew 50 followers in January 2024, where I grew 90 followers in the entire year of 2023. So that's Instagram. That's my numbers for there. Next up, we are going with my email list. I started January 2023 with 452 subscribers on my email list. I'm not talking about like active I didn't look into like who's opening my emails and all of that, but I do have that number for you of my open rates. I ended 2023. I started January 2024 with 922 subscribers on my email list. So that is a difference of 450-ish. Yeah, 470. That's 400 exactly. 470 followers within the year, or not followers, subscribers within the year of 2023. I can easily say, because I watch my numbers grow, that a large portion of the subscribers came from 2 summits that I did. Literally, I think I did like 3 or 4 summits last year. I know I did 2 that were in January this year. You would I those numbers I did do another 2 in January this year, but those numbers are skewed as I purged my list after this number, which I'll share later. Um, but yeah, I grew 470 followers mostly from summits. So if you're someone who wants to grow your email list, it is a really good way to do it. I'm also about to launch a new lead magnet, which you will hear about on next week's episode. So we'll see how that goes in terms of growing my list because I haven't had a lead magnet that I actively promoted or even liked since maybe 2022. So that's my email list. And my email open rate stays around the 30% mark. I'm pretty happy with that. I don't feel the need to like purge my list more. I did, like I said, I did end up purging my list. I removed about 200 people from my list, so I have just over 700. As of yesterday, have moved platforms from Kartra back to ConvertKit. And I knew that I had a boatload of people who didn't open my emails, who weren't interested in my content, who signed up for some freebie and then never proceeded to look at anything else again. So I got rid of those. Also, Kartra keeps people who have unsubscribed, not so that like you don't send them emails, but their numbers are still there. So I tried to get rid of the unsubscribed names as well. So I had actually who was subscribed to my list when I moved to ConvertKit. And yeah, so that took me to around 700 that I'm starting the year off with realistically. Podcast. Okay, I started 2023 still as Felly's Fishbowl. That show, I think I stopped in like February and I relaunched it as The Unprofessional Entrepreneur in April, May, April. No, May, because it's when I came to France. Um, I started January 2023 with 128 listens. I probably had around 10 episodes, maybe a bit more. No, because I launched in November with 3 episodes. So yeah, I maybe had around 10 episodes at the new year in 2023 and you can see based on those numbers I was averaging about 11 to 12 listens per episode, which is not very good just for reference of anyone. um I also just wasn't connecting with my listeners on my show at that time, and you can see my show, I didn't do the percentage for this, but I basically my listens are times 10 for 2024. I went from 1200 sorry. I went from 128 listens to 1321 listens from January 2023 to January 2024. 1,200 extra listens, you know, which averages to about 100 per month, which I'm pretty happy with considering that's 4 episodes per month. It means that my listens went from like 10 to 11 listens per episode to about 20, um, 25 actually. 25 to 30 would be like the average now of what my listens are. And I'm going to make a whole podcast episode about running a show that you don't hate. But I would say the proof is in the numbers when it comes to this one. You can see that me and my audience are much happier with the show that I am now running. All right, let's talk about total clients. The numbers might shock you because I actually had a really, really slow year last year. I did not serve anywhere near the number of clients that I served in 2022, but at the same time, I had different streams of income that were bringing in more money. Um, in previous years, I diversified my income by launching programs, doing pop-up offers. But in 2023, I diversified my money by working as a subcontractor and getting consistent work on Fiverr. That's an episode that I'm going to share later because I do want to dive into the 3 ways that I make money online because I think so many people put too much pressure on their business, and I'm quite happy with the balance I have right now. But so throughout the 4 months of or sorry, 4 months, throughout the 12 months of 2023, I worked with 4 done for you clients in Felly Day Studio. I completed 5 remixes, which is our send us 10 links, we send you 100 custom content ideas, um, which is an offer where you send us 10 links, we send you 100 custom content ideas. It's a it's a week turnaround, so it's a short project-based project. It's it's almost like a VIP day, but I do it in project-based format. So I launched that in, I want to say September, and so from September to December, I had 5 clients, and I did I had 2 one-on-one contracts. That is it for my own business in 2023. I had a few sales of the PR pitch guide. Um, I got like affiliate payouts for things. There was things that were still within the Felly Day Studio realm of income, but that's really all the work that I did contract based wise for my business last year, and it reflects when we go now to profit percentage. Profit percentage growth and not growth. So my revenue from 2022 to 2023 decreased by 19%. That is to say that in 2022, I earned 19% more, or my revenue was 19% higher than it was in 2023. You can see based on my client numbers, we weren't doing big business in the studio. I also wasn't putting effort into my marketing, so it reflects that. As I mentioned, I was making money elsewhere, but it still came up shorter than it had in previous years. On the other hand, there was a 300% increase in profit from 2022 to 2023. From the start of my business, 2020, 2021, 2022, my profit was super, super bad. I was basically investing everything back into the business and not saving anything for myself. I lived in Mexico, so I could live very cheaply, which is probably the only way I made it. But at the same time, by the end of 2022, I kind of gave myself a pep talk of like, something's got to give. Like, I need to stop binge investing in these programs when I really have no profit. Just because 1 month I'm in the green doesn't mean, okay, I get to invest now. It's like, well, what about paying me? What about having savings in the business? What about, you know, a safety net? So 2023 was really about fixing that gap that I had created the other 3 years in my business, and I'm super happy to see a 300% increase in profit, um, even with the decrease in revenue. I plan to continue that trend into 2024. I'm already off to a good start, if anyone cares. um, in that I've only invested this year in a 5-day money mindset training and a 30-day challenge, both of them being low ticket. Um, an investment I'd like to make, but it's a personal one, is in a health coach as I prepare for my wedding. And besides that, I'm pretty happy like with my expenses going into the bank account or towards my team for Felly Day Studio. But that is my year in numbers. I I mean, it doesn't really make sense to talk about like my energetical feelings about the last year because we're talking about my year in numbers. But I'm honestly pretty happy. Like my email list doubled, my podcast listened 10 times, my profit 300% increased. Like 2023, I know a lot of people said it was hard. It was hard. I barely worked with any clients, and that ate away at me at certain points in time that I didn't have the strong client base that I'm used to having. But at the same time, I balanced out my income by working as a subcontractor and working, and getting consistent orders on Fiverr, and I started to prioritize myself, my health, my income, like, just made the business more well-rounded to move into 2024 and escalate it. You might have also seen that I took my one-on-one off the board basically as of the start of this year. I just never found my footing with it, with mentorship, with the messaging, with what I wanted or who I wanted to serve from my offer. And since I stopped trying to like force that offer into my product suite, I feel so much better just focusing on the agency and knowing like if anyone wants to hire me one-on-one, just reach out, we can talk. Other than that, I'm gonna go all in on the agency, and when we reach the stage of booked out, maybe I'll start talking to people about one-on-one, but considering that I plan on taking all of September off for my wedding, I'll be spending the summer planning a wedding. I turn 30 in June. I plan to get pregnant before Christmas. Like, maybe I'll just let the agency be my income and try and up my beta reads for the end of the year so that I can just sit and read books and get paid for it because I'm pretty happy with that job. But that is an episode for another day. Thank you so much for tuning in to this week's episode of The Unprofessional Entrepreneur. Thank you so much for coming back to my show as we relaunch season 3. I love to have you here. Please, please, please send me DMs. Let me know what you want to hear more of. Let me know what you thought. Let me know any questions that you have. You can find me on Threads, on Instagram, or join my email list on my website, uh, Felly Day, at Felly Day on the social media, fellyday.com on the website. And I look forward to speaking with you all next week. And as always, don't forget to stay unprofessional.